You know, every restaurant is a buffet if you're willing to pay, especially here in Las Vegas, the all-you-can-eat capital of the world. Hello friends, it's me, Shin, and I'm on a quest to vlog every restaurant on the Las Vegas Strip as well as downtown on Fremont Street. I'm 151 in, and this week for number 152, I'm coming to you from the Resorts World Las Vegas, where I'm going to Genting Palace for the first time. Really happy to have you along. I'll see you inside. All right, everyone, and here I am seated at Genting Palace. Now, while their buffet runs from Wednesday night to Sunday night, their seafood specialties only appear from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The price this evening is $68.88, and it is my first time at Genting Palace, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how it is. Absolutely beautiful restaurant here. I'm loving the beige tablecloths, comfortable seating, a well-lit but intimate space. Truly a beautiful restaurant here. Regardless of the vibes, though, you know, it's all about the food for me, so let's take a look at what they have to eat on the buffet line. Alrighty, so we're approaching the buffet here. It's not too big, but starting off with your plates, a couple of food regulations and such. I don't really plan on eating that though. Let's take a look here. We've got some Pacific oysters. This is really nice to see on a buffet line. We have cocktail prawns. If you're if you're in the mood for some shrimp cocktail here, they got some extremely large jumbo prawns. Looks very nice. Snow crab legs, pre-cut for you, that's always convenient. And a nice amount, you also have some lemons down here as well. But this is looking fantastic. Continuing with the seafood, we have some whelks as well, scallops here. You don't really find raw scallops like this on the Strip in a buffet, so this is really nice looking. You have a fruit platter here. For those of you who aren't aware, Chinese folks love to eat fruit as their dessert, so this is looking really promising. And then a couple of sauces as well, a mignonette up front, a green goddess in the middle, and a cocktail sauce back there. Moving right along, we have a Westlake style minced beef soup. So let's see what this looks like. Oh, okay, so we've got something like an egg drop soup here. Very nice. Green mussels with a black bean sauce. Oh yes, that looks fantastic. We have some General Tso's chicken here. That looks pretty good. Although, is that General Tso's chicken? That might actually be some green beans. I don't know if that's chicken. I'll have to find out. Oh, you know what? Yeah, there it is. Stir-fried green beans with fish cake. That makes a lot more sense. So there's your stir-fried green beans. Here is your General Tso's chicken. That's looking a lot more like what I was expecting. And then a braised pork belly with tangerine peels. Oh yeah, that looks super soft. Loving that. We have a shrimp fried rice and a wok fried seafood noodle here. Classic half and half sides for your Chinese dining. And then we have some vegan mushroom dumplings as well as a barbecue pork bun. Let's take a quick look. So there are the barbecue pork buns. And I imagine underneath we might find some, actually that's really heavy to lift with one hand. I'll take a look at that when we come back. And then here is the carvery. This is all that good stuff that you're really expecting. You have a hoisin sauce here with pork belly. You also have your cucumbers and leeks down here. Peking duck that's being carved right now. Beautiful. And you have some butterfly buns. You want to make some Peking duck and, oh, thank you. Beautiful looking butterfly buns there. And yeah, the way you want to eat this is Peking duck or that pork belly with cucumber and leeks with that hoisin sauce. So a pretty straightforward buffet here, but a lot of premium items. This is looking really great. I'm gonna go ahead and put this down and get my first plate, and then we'll get to eating. Don't worry, I'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Now I just got my first plate, and with my first plate I decided to go with a lot of their hot food items. Let me give you a view. So this is their fried rice and chow mein, as well as their tangerine pork belly, their General Tso's chicken, the green beans with fish cakes. I got a barbecue pork bun here, as well as the vegan hargao. This is actually all looking really good. Let's give it a try. Let's kick things off with the chow mein. A pretty standard looking chow mein here. And usually when I go to something like a Panda Express, I'm usually all noodles, no rice. So I'm hoping it's good here at Genting Palace. Chow mein. Yeah, it's good. Definitely a nice cook to these noodles. a firm chew here. I do actually like the noodles here. The bean sprouts, the peppers, the onions have been sweated and cooked down very well. Nicely caramelized, providing a bit of an additional sweetness to the dish. I like the veggies here. A flavorful amount of umami is also present. You can really tell that they've stained this with the proper amount of soy sauce. Nice levels of garlic also. You definitely get a well-rounded chow mein flavor here. Very nice chow mein dish. That's a good start. Next up, shrimp fried rice. This is a really good looking fried rice. Big chunks of shrimp in here. They're certainly not skimping when it comes to that. Let's give it a try. Yeah, not bad. A nice cook to the rice here. You can tell that they're using properly aged rice. The grains have been properly dehydrated. It's not sticky or gummy. The texture of the rice feels ever so slightly toasted. A nice fried rice texture. I really like the shrimp here. You absolutely get the natural sweetness of the shrimp. A good briny flavor there. Not often that you get shrimp in a buffet fried rice, so this is really nice. I'd say seasoning wise, it's just okay. Certain bites feel a little bit more bland than the others. Some additional soy sauce and white pepper I think would go a long way here. Though the cook on the rice is great and I really do love the shrimp in here. All in all, I'd say this is pretty solid. Just a little bit of additional seasoning and I think this fried rice could be really excellent. Next up, barbecue pork bun. One of the main comforting dishes I would say from the Chinese lineup, barbecue pork bun. Oh yeah, that's good. Definitely a homemade barbecue pork bun here. The bun itself has a very fluffy texture, super soft, nice and airy, with a relatively neutral flavor. I really like the texture of this barbecue bun. The pork inside is so flavorful. Not only is the meat succulent and tender, but this filling is just very juicy and moist. A nice tangy sweetness here. You absolutely get the huge influence of pineapple. I wouldn't even say there's a lot of sugar in the sauce. The natural citrus flavor of that pineapple is actually doing a lot of work here. A tasty and tender pineapple pork encapsulated in one of these super soft buns is actually really, really nice. I'm enjoying this quite a bit. Solid barbecue bun here. Next up, General Tso's chicken. I don't know too much about the authenticity when it comes to General Tso's chicken, but it is certainly a dish I've had plenty of times before. Let's see how it is. Yeah, not bad. This is a pretty solid General Tso's recipe. You certainly have some good things going on here. The chicken in the center is so juicy and so tender. It's actually a really well-cooked chicken, well-seasoned also. When it comes to the chicken in the center, I'm all thumbs up. Now, unfortunately, the breading on the outside does not have all that great of texture. It's quite soggy, a little bit mushy. It probably has to do a lot with when I actually got this from the buffet line. A crispy skin dish like this you have to get immediately after it comes out on the line. Otherwise, the textures are going to be a bit lacking. The General Tso sauce is pretty good. Slightly spicy, definitely on the sweeter side, with a very pungent garlic accent flavor. I do like the taste of this. It really just seems to be the texture that's lacking the most. I think I'm going to keep a really close eye on the buffet and I'm going to try this a little bit later if they put out that General Tso's chicken right on the line. Hopefully it's a lot better then. Next up, vegan hargao. Chinese cuisine has a lot of really good vegan and vegetarian dishes, and so I'm hoping this is going to be one of the standouts. Vegan hargao. Oh yeah, it's tasty. I actually really do like this vegan hargao. Starting with the dumpling skin, slightly gelatinous, relatively starchy, imparting a slightly glutinous rice-like flavor. It's not dried out, actually has a very nice moist texture. A good hargao skin here. A nicely flavorful mushroom-based filling. A nice earthy flavor here with a bit of a spongy texture to that mushroom. Made flavorful by garlic, ginger, as well as what I want to say is a hint of 5 spice. You do get a bit of a warm note here, maybe from some peppercorns or something of the like. The texture is relatively one note when it comes to the whole bite, but the flavors here are solid. A nice little vegan dish there, that's a good one. Next up, green beans with fish cakes. I love Chinese green beans. It's a simple yet delicious dish, and I'm thinking if you add fish cake, it's gonna be just a lot better. Hopefully my hypothesis holds true. Let's give it a shot. Oh, that is very good. I really like this dish. Starting with the green beans, wonderful cook to these. Ever so slightly crispy to the exterior, but a very soft vegetable center. Even though it's been cooked thoroughly, you absolutely get the natural bitterness of the green bean here. I really like that taste. A bit of a rich dish, it's been cooked in a lot of oil, a nice garlicky flavor, as well as a pungent spice that comes from a heavy amount of ginger. It works really well in this recipe. I love the green beans. Now the Chinese fish cakes here are very tasty. If you've never had a Chinese fish cake before, you could think of a fish puree that's been mixed together with some kind of a binder, cooked into these little cakes. These are very nicely seasoned. You get a bit of a briny flavor here, as well as just a little bit of bite coming from the chives. A little bit of that briny salinity along with the delicious garlicky flavor of these green beans go together so well. A very nice dish. I like that one a lot. All right, everyone, now the last bite I'm trying from this first plate is gonna be the pork. I believe this was listed as a pork with some kind of citrus, and I do love a good pork belly recipe. Hopefully it's good here. Here's Genting Palace's pork belly. Oh, that is very good. Excellent pork here. I think I love everything about this dish. Starting with the cook on this, incredibly tender pork meat. This has been braised perfectly. Not only is the fat rendered down to really provide a lot of richness, the meat itself is just so soft and satisfying to eat. That exterior layer just has a bit of toughness to it, but texture-wise, you really can't ask for a better braised pork belly. I'm really enjoying this. I love the flavors here. Not only is the pork itself savory and succulent, but the braising broth that they've used is heavily influenced by 5-spice. I love Chinese 5-spice. I think it works so well on a lot of proteins. Such a well-balanced taste profile when it comes to that seasoning blend. A little bit sweet, a little bit salty, a little bit sour. It just makes for such wonderful flavor. A little bit of a warm spice taste, complementing this pork just perfectly. I'm loving everything about this. A big winner with that pork belly. I like that a lot. All right, everyone, now that's everything I'm tasting from this first plate. I'm gonna go ahead and work through this and we'll go for plate number 2, which is gonna be all of those premium seafood items. Don't go anywhere, I'll be right back. And welcome back, everyone. I just got back with my second round of food, and with my second round, I decided to try out everything else that they had at the buffet. Let me give you a view. So this is all of that premium seafood. I have a raw scallop here, as well as a whelk, some oysters, prawn cocktail, snow crab legs, green mussels and black bean sauce, as well as their beef egg soup. And of course, I had to get the super premium items here from the carvery. We've got the pork belly bowels, as well as that Peking duck. This is all looking really good. Let's give it a try. First off, scallops. Certainly love my scallops, though it's been a while since I've had one raw like this. Hopefully it's good. Let's see how the scallop is. Yeah, not bad. I would say a decent scallop here. Relatively fresh, it didn't have any kind of funky flavors. Pretty clean tasting, ever so slightly sweet. Texture-wise, it was a little bit on the chewy side. I think I would have preferred a little bit more on that smooth side. All in all, not terrible. It's just not the best scallop I've had. Next up, we'll try the whelk. Let's see how the whelk is. Unfortunately, I can't say I'm the biggest fan of this one. Now for a whelk, the flavors actually weren't bad. Very mild in taste, a little bit of that briny sweetness. The flavors of the whelk for me were fine. A very chewy texture here. It was one that's expected, and it lived right up to those expectations. I think my biggest issue with this whelk is that it wasn't all that properly clean. I definitely had bits of sand in my mouth as I was chewing through it, and I don't know about you, but I haven't eaten sand on purpose since I was a kid. Not the greatest food experience. Otherwise, really not bad though. A little bit cleaner, I would have enjoyed that whelk just fine. Next up, green mussels with black bean sauce. Now, I love Chinese black bean sauce, so if you put it on almost any protein, I'm gonna enjoy it. Don't think I've actually had it on mussels though, so this should be a nice experience. Let's give it a shot. Oh, that is very good. I really like this green mussel dish. Firstly, the cook on the mussels themselves are fantastic. A bit of a spongy chew to this, not too slimy, still satisfying to eat, with a wonderful oceany briny flavor. Just a little bit salty on the back end. I really like the mussels here. The black bean sauce is very flavorful, a little bit sweet, definitely earthy, with a nice savory touch. The black bean sauce actually goes really well with these mussels. All said, I really enjoyed this bite. That's a good dish right there. I like that one a lot. Next up, let's try the oysters. I always love a good raw oyster, though I'm not gonna lie, pulling this one from the shell wasn't that great of a feel. Hopefully it tastes good though. Let's give it a shot. Can't say I'm the biggest fan of that one. Unfortunately, this was not a great oyster for me. The texture here leaves a lot to be desired. You're expecting slimy when it comes to any kind of a raw oyster, but you're also expecting a bit of a robust ocean flavor. Not only was that briny salinity muted here, but the texture felt even more slimy than normal. It didn't even pull out of the shell all that well. I'm curious if I happen to get an oyster that's been out on the line for a bit. This is unfortunate because a lot of the videos I've seen, the oysters looked really fantastic. I think I just got a bad one today. Definitely a shame. I was hoping the oysters would be a lot better than that. Next up, prawn cocktail. Enormous prawns here, and they look cleanly deveined, and I can always enjoy a good shrimp or prawn like this. Let's see how it is. Oh, that is really good. Excellent prawn cocktail here. Perfectly cooked. The shrimp has a nice bouncy texture to it. A nice fun chew to this. Really happy when it comes to the preparation of these prawns. I like the amount of work that I'm seeing here. Flavor-wise, these prawns are fantastic. A very robust prawn flavor. Even without a sauce, it's actually quite good. And if you do dip it into any cocktail sauce, you're gonna get that additional tangy sweet heat. But I'm actually finding myself really happy with just eating these prawns on their own. A really good dish right there. I like that one a lot. And the last of the seafood to try is gonna be the crab legs. You have pre-cut snow crab legs here at the Genting Palace, making it really easy to get a nice big forkful like this. And I certainly enjoy my crab. Let's see how it is here. Yeah, that's good. I mean, you got some solid snow crab legs here. They are served cold, and I am particular for warm crab legs. But that said, everything about these are fine. As mentioned, I love that these are pre-cut for you. It makes it so easy to just get in there and get some meat. And objectively, you've got some pretty good crab meat here. It's soft, moist, not dried out, with the natural sweetness absolutely coming through. A little bit buttery in flavor as well. This is just good crab. Hard to be upset when the crab is solid. I'm actually enjoying this quite a bit. Next up, we're going to try the soup. Now, if I remember correctly, this was called the Westfield beef soup or something like that. I mean, it looks like an egg drop soup to me with some beef in it. Let's see how it is. Oh, that is really good. I really like the soup here. There's a lot of really great flavors present. A relatively viscous soup here. Despite its color and its semi-translucent nature, this still is a pretty thick soup. Each spoonful is a little bit heartier than you would expect. I like this a lot. This is such a mild and clean flavor. You get a little bit of richness here from both the egg as well as the fat that's rendered off from the beef, contributing even more to that satisfying nature of the soup. The egg whites in here are wispy in texture, and I wouldn't exactly say you get an individual taste out of it, but you can tell the added richness here is what's at play. That is all nice. Small chunks of beef in here provide a little bit of additional chew, as well as a mild beef flavor. I love the amount of white pepper that's in this recipe. Provides just a little bit of kick on the back end, and while it's not too salty, it's definitely well seasoned. A good tasting soup here. This is a really good soup. I like that one a lot. All right, my friends, now the last two dishes that I'm going to be trying today are going to be the premium items from that carvery. We're talking about that Peking duck as well as their pork belly. I made myself some butterfly bows here, filled with cucumber, leeks, and hoisin sauce. I definitely want to do the duck first. Let's give this a go. That is delicious. Oh, I love good Peking duck, and it is solid here. I genuinely love everything about this bite. Let's start the discussion with this butterfly bun. So pillowy and so soft. These are definitely not stale in any way. Nice and fresh, wonderful texture. When you have excellent Peking duck, but a terribly dry and stale bao, there's just no saving it. So I'm very happy to report that the butterfly bao here are excellent. Now that we have the bao discussion out of the way, let's talk about this duck because it is so good. Peking duck takes hours to prepare, and they've absolutely put in the time here. This is such great execution of a classic recipe. Ultra crispy skin. You absolutely need that skin to be as crispy as possible, and I'm enjoying that crunchy texture here. Wonderfully fatty, very rich. I love how all of this fat has rendered right into the meat. It just makes for such a satisfying bite. Some fresh crunch coming from that cucumber, and a slightly bitter bite coming from the leeks. A wonderful tangy sweetness coming from that hoisin sauce. I truly love everything about this. I mean, this recipe's been around for over 1,000 years, and you can tell that it's stood the test of time because of how good it is, and I'm really happy to report they prepare it excellently here at Genting Palace. Alright everyone, now the last bite I'm trying today is going to be the pork belly bao. This is the other meat in their premium carvery section, and I've created a bao here very similar to the one with the Peking duck, and I'm certainly looking forward to this. Let's give it a try. Oh yeah, that's good. Solid recipe here. I've already discussed all of the other elements, and they're more or less the same here. So I'm going to focus my attention on the pork belly. Now this is a very good pork belly, but interestingly, unlike the Peking duck, you have another pork belly that you can directly contrast here when it came to that pork belly with the tangerine sauce. Now we have a much crispier skin on this pork belly. The pork belly with the orange sauce certainly had a bit of a tougher exterior, but it wasn't anything crispy like this. Now that said, while both pork bellies had their fat rendered nicely, it makes for a very rich bite, I would actually say that the pork belly in the tangerine sauce was much more tender than the pork belly here. A little bit of additional chew to go through on this pork belly, making it just ever so slightly less satisfying to eat than the other version. While the flavors also work well here, I think this particular bao bun just tastes a lot better with the Peking duck. I think I might just enjoy this pork belly on its own outside of the bao with just a little bit of hoisin sauce. Certainly not bad though. A nice way to end the meal. I can't be mad at that. Alright everyone, now that's going to do it for my dinner buffet here at Genting Palace at the Resorts World Las Vegas. At almost $70, you're coming very close to the pricing of the Wynn Buffet dinner, and so if you're looking for a lot of variety, you may want to be trekking your way over there. However, if you're a diner who really enjoys premium seafood as well as items like Peking duck, I think it's really hard to pass this one up. Oftentimes, a whole Peking duck on its own is anywhere from $70 to $100, and so just a couple servings of Peking duck and crab legs and you more or less made up the difference in that money. And given the quality of their buffet food, I'm pretty sure that the kitchen is bound to put out some really solid dishes here. I might come back at a future time to try some more a la carte items. If you're staying at the Resorts World or you're looking for a premium all
all-you-can-eat seafood experience on the Vegas Strip, this is what you can expect at Genting Palace. All right, my friends, now that's going to do it for this week's video, where I continue my quest to vlog every restaurant on the Las Vegas Strip, as well as downtown on Fremont Street. Make sure you come back next Saturday for the next installment as I add to my collection. I really hope you'll be there. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a fantastic week, and I hope you enjoy Vegas with me, Shin. Bye.